as always, we are excited to be here.
That is true.
And we have a very special guest in studio with us today.
It's going to hopefully unlock some of these questions that we've had for a long time.
Life is crazy, right? And times are, I think, even more hectic and insane. We talk about this all the time. You know, growing up in the 80s and 90s, like, there was so much escapism for people in general, but especially for young people, where we went outside, we played, especially during the summer, stickball, bike rides to the park, football, basketball.
You just would go and make a little fort in the forest and with all your friends.
You lost track of time, lost track of the world, didn't have a care in the world, and that was your escapism.
Yeah.
Today with social media and the digital transformation that the human species is trying to be integrated with on the daily, I feel like you can't escape from anything. No. I feel like that. I see it in my kids. Absolutely. I feel that way. There is no escapism anymore.
We are the generation that is truly experiencing the convergence with our technology.
And I hate
the convergence of everything.
I will say it. I loathe it, okay? But at the end of the day, it's happening. It's like this human journey.
Get on the bus or get left behind.
It's not, this journey's happening. So
I just to say one thing real quick. I saw this incredible quote. Not a quote. It was a speech, but it was in the 1960s. And I forget the guy who gave it, but he basically said, and he literally laid it out for you, and in the years in the 2000s, and as we progress on, you saw us, right? Yes. We are going to be considered a part of on the spoke of evolution, 2 robots.
Right. Human evolution will stop.
Biological evolution will stop.
Right. That's what he said. That's right.
And machine evolution starts.
Yes.
And we have exited the Holocene period, which is the period that gave humans and primates that 0.05% temperature gradient on the planet, what is that? It's a Goldilocks zone. Right. It makes the perfect environment for life to reach its full potential. Right. We have exited that. We are now going into a different era, and guess who's only going to be able to survive outside in that era? The Terminator.
T-1000.
The robot.
Yes,
but you know what, though? He gave me hope, because I was like, that is kind of cool.
Because it turned out he was a robot.
In the thousands of years in the future, how interesting would it be?
And travel back in time to save someone's son.
How weird would it be if the only expression of humanity were these robots taking it on throughout the galaxy?
Yes.
Kind of interesting. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, today, guys.
To keep my anxiety in check from the robot future that is inevitable.
Yes. We are joined by a very special expert in the field of meditation, which, by the way, is probably one of the last, bastions of escapism in today's world, right?
It's an interesting way to put it.
That's one of my grandfather's words, bastion. I love that word. That and halcyon days. That's another. Halcyon is a great word that Pop taught us. Anyway, I don't want to get into
Cranus on the Shanispore.
That's
another one.
Colloquialism that nobody else knows, but still not. It's a great one.
Clever.
Yeah. It's not anything to do with the SATs, but it's still pretty damn good. Anyway, we have to welcome Suze Yalof Schwartz, right?
Woo! To the
who's the founder of UNPLUG Meditation, correct?
Correct.
And it's this amazing app, and she teaches you in this crazy world how to meditate. Yeah. And by the way, I will just say I'm going to let you speak. We're going to let you speak a lot today because we don't know anything about this.
And that's rare because we usually speak all the time. So
yes, all the time and over each other.
My brothers do primarily.
That's true.
Speak all
and
the
he just
time.
sits there in sunglasses and broods.
Okay.
And he's developed quite a fan base, so he keeps doing it. I feel like
brooders.
I feel like, look, we have talked about therapy on this show and how that's important. Just being able to talk in a free space and that
gives you the
self-reflection,
tools in your life to
communicate.
A lot of things about fitness. We talk about body, like working out and stuff like that. And here's another.
This is sort of mental fitness. Yes. And one of the things that my therapist always says, and she's always saying, you know what, just try to meditate. Even if you do it for a couple minutes here, 3-5 minutes here. She sent me some little like YouTube videos and things like that. But it's so hard. I have 3 kids. Life's crazy. We're starting this business together. We had a lot of projects. Things are great, but it so
seems
hard
overwhelming
to
fit that in.
Well, and I've actually been really interested in this topic, but yet someone who's actually really interested still has not gotten over that hump because it's like, how do I turn my brain off? How do I stop all those things from running through it? And it seems, I don't know, I guess I'm kind of apprehensive a little bit about it.
Right. Yes. So you developed about this minute meditation thing, right?
It's a 16-second meditation.
16 seconds.
And I wasn't the one who developed it.
Okay.
It's called the box breath, and they use it, the Navy SEALs use it to calm down and get clear. And my friend David G., who taught it to me, calls it tactical breathing. So just in case the word meditation turns you off, we can just call it tactical breathing. And I can teach it to you in 16 seconds. And it's
really
life-changing.
All right, so if you're listening, please listen up. And if you're watching, which I highly suggest,
join us.
Join us on the
really
YouTube channel
interesting.
because this actually is something that I'm excited about because first of all, stress, I get a little high blood pressure, just runs in the family. I feel like lowering that. I feel my heart racing at times during the day. Sometimes, do you ever wake up? I wake up, ever since I've had kids, I don't ever get that sleep anymore. You know that sleep where you woke up and you're like, what happened? I had the best 10 hours of my life.
Right.
I have literally not had that since 2006. It's not happened.
Well, because you need your brain back, okay?
Yeah.
I don't get that because I won't even get out of bed until I meditate.
Wow.
And that's the non-negotiable for me.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and I'll kind of teach you all of my tricks and hacks.
Okay.
But the first one, should we just get into it?
Let's do it.
Let's just talk about a couple of things that you just said, which is I can't turn my brain off.
Yeah.
And I want you to know that you will never be able to turn your brain off until you flatline. And
Right.
that means you're
Interesting.
dead.
That's a good
Our
thing.
brains are designed to think,
Interesting.
right? So we have
Okay.
5,000 to 80,000 thoughts every single day. That's like
Wow.
a thought a second.
5 to 80,000.
Most of them are repetitive.
That's crazy.
A lot of them
Wow.
are unnecessary and not
Yes.
even nice.
It's true.
Right? So you're like
I
telling
experienced
yourself
that.
negative
Yeah.
thoughts, whatever. We don't
Yeah.
have to do that.
Okay.
We can unsubscribe from those thoughts.
Okay.
But the deal is you need to sit with them and notice what they are. Because if you're talking all the time, or if you're moving all the time, or if you're doing all the time, you're never actually going to be able to observe the thoughts that you have. So let's
that.
get into the whole vibe.
Okay, let's do it.
Oh, and by the way, so I was talking to some of the people on your team,
Yeah.
and they were saying that they can't meditate because they think too much, just like you were saying. But I want you to think about it like this way. There's only 3 things that happen in every single meditation. The first thing is we breathe. Oops, sorry.
No, you're good.
I slammed that.
It's okay.
We breathe. The
Yes.
second thing that happens is we let it go. We're just present in the present moment. And that might only be for a second. And then our minds wander. We're thinking about the next moment, dinner, or we're thinking about the past moment.
Yeah.
And then we do this, like a bicep curl for the brain. We breathe, let it go, mind wanders, bring it back. Breathe, let it go, mind wanders, bring it back.
It's an exercise.
And imagine this.
Interesting.
So if you're saying, I'm not good enough, I'm not whatever enough, and you're like, wait, you know what? No, thank you. I'm good enough. Let it go. Yeah. We're here now, right? We're alive. Not everybody got to be here, but
No,
we
you know
did.
what? You're right.
All right, so let's do this
Every day
thing.
above ground is a blessing, so
Yes.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Because the
not only-
alternative is...
Not only your parents, your grandparents, but they say and estimate 4,000 to 5,000 people before you, it took to get you here.
Yeah.
Their struggles, their survivals, whole
Their
lineages
journeys, yeah.
of tribes and families just so you could walk on the planet today.
Okay, so I think what we should do is I'll stress you out a little bit.
Okay.
And then we'll do this 16-second thing twice, so it'll be like 32 seconds. And then you tell me if you feel different before and after. How does that sound?
Sounds great.
And then
great.
I'll tell you how to use this thing all the time.
All right.
Okay, so let's begin by closing our eyes.
Okay.
We're
I'm
closing our
already
eyes.
stressed, just not having my
That's
visual.
cool, that's cool. And I want you
awareness.
to visualize or imagine that you have a very important Zoom call, but the Wi-Fi won't start. We've all been there.
Oh, this is perfect
It's
for
bad,
me.
right? Okay.
Woo, it just happened the other day.
And feel that feeling and raise your hand when you feel that stress.
I'm up. My palms are sweaty.
Okay? You have the Zoom call or anything that stresses you out. Just think about it. Great. Okay, you can drop your hand. I want you to sit with that for just 5 seconds. Feel the discomfort. You feeling it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, should feel really bad. Okay, now we're going to breathe in through our nose to the count of 4. 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 2, 3, 4. Audible exhale out. Relax your face, relax your shoulder, relax your body for 4. And hold. 2, 3, 4. One more time. In through the nose for 4. Holding our breath for 4. Audible exhale out for 4. Relaxing the face, relaxing the body. And hold. And open your eyes. Were you thinking about that stressful thought when we were counting and breathing
In fact, I feel like
at the same
Wait a
time?
minute, I was not.
I feel so good.
That is a,
Wait a minute, no joke. I
so
honestly,
I feel really
what I was
great.
thinking about was the breathing.
yeah, because you can't count, breathe, and think at the same time. So what we
Wow.
did was we interrupted the pattern of stress in 16 seconds by doing the box breath.
Okay.
Wow.
Susie, you need to be here every Friday.
Well, you don't even need me anymore because you can
Don't
do
say
this
that.
on
We
your
all
own.
need you and we need your app.
Yeah, that's what we need. That's what we
In
need.
fact, I would love to I brought you guys some goodies.
Oh, what? We love
Okay.
goodies. You
Great.
brought gifts?
Yes.
It's like Christmas morning, guys.
I brought
know.
gifts because I actually binged your podcast.
Did
this
you?
morning, and I was like,
We're
need
sorry
to
about
get
that.
baseball
Look at
caps.
this. Oh, my
We need T-shirts you can rip
Oh,
up.
meditation,
fantastic.
everybody.
Look at
Look at
this.
this.
Look at that, guys.
That
Look
is
at that.
what is
Very
that?
You
cool.
can look at it.
Wow.
Oh, perfect. As you can see, I
this is
always
awesome.
wear
You
hats.
can make that dirty and run it
this is
over.
great.
I love it.
anytime.
This
Okay,
is
cool.
I
sick.
will definitely
Yeah,
wear this.
I'll
This
wear
is
that.
so cool.
Okay, cool.
This is
that.
awesome.
And then
yes.
I thought you could rip that one up.
Dude, this is so cool.
Yeah, just rip it up.
And
this.
sick.
I'll
I'm
wear
going to
this.
replace my mug on the show
Oh, yeah.
That's your reminder to
Absolute-
first meditate.
with my new mug.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Mug, I will do the same.
Yes. Oh, that's a book. I wrote that book.
I'm gonna read
Unplug
this.
with Deborah
T-shirt.
Goldstein.
Look at this.
up.
Yeah.
Unplug, a simple guide to meditation for busy skeptics and modern soul seekers by Suze Yalof Schwartz. Everybody,
And
this
Deborah
book,
Goldstein.
be calm, be present, be happy.
Yes.
There you go.
And then we gave you
got an
the app. And
This
if you
is
flip
so
this
cool.
over,
This is so cool.
also we have a studio in LA, which you can come to at any time.
Really?
Wow.
That's cool. When you guys get a
Wow.
little bit more into it.
Look at
it's
this,
possible.
everybody. Look
yeah,
at
I'm
this.
already into it.
All right.
So
That was actually, no, that was really
Yeah,
wild.
cool.
Honestly, that was really wild because you're right. I was thinking about breathing in for 4, holding for 4, breathing out audibly for 4, and then holding for 4. And that cycle, you created that
The box.
square, the
Yeah.
box.
Okay. So
And what you're
here's-
doing is you're boxing out, I
Yeah.
guess, like,
Well, so what you're doing is you are allowing yourself to interrupt the pattern of stress. So you are pausing, pressing pause on the thoughts that you're having and coming back into the present moment. Because here's the problem. When you're stressed and anxious, it's probably because you're thinking about the future or all the stuff you have
what
to
it
do
is.
100%.
coming up next. When you're depressed and sad, it's like you're thinking about your childhood and the past
It's so
or whatever.
Yeah.
So like,
about
here's
the
the
80s
deal.
all the time.
Let's get present because this is now, and this is actually the only moment that we have. And if we optimize this moment, then the next moment's going to be great, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people just are so busy not doing things now. And that's the biggest problem, I think. So anyway, I just taught you the box breath, and now you can use that anytime, whenever you need it. For me, I use the UNPLUG app, which I gave to you, because there are meditations on there, mostly bite-sized meditations. When I say bite-sized, I mean 10 minutes and under.
that's great.
And there's a button you can click when you're overwhelmed. There's a button you can click when you're stressed out, when you can't sleep, if you need to fall back asleep, when you're moving, if someone's making you crazy and you want to punch them in the nose, anger management, anxiety.
I'm
not
coming up on a
enough.
move here.
Like we pretty much, I like to say the UNPLUG app has a meditation for absolutely everything. So
Would that
that's
be
under 10 minutes.
absolutely or absolutely?
Both.
APP-solutely.
Yes, exactly.
Pun intended. I like that.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that was, it's funny. I've
so
heard.
zen right now.
I know.
I'm
This
like,
is the most zen I've ever been in the
No,
studio.
honestly, it's, and that's 16 seconds,
Yeah,
right?
done. We did it for 32. We doubled down on it. And I would highly suggest doing that when you wake up in the morning,
So
before
first thing
you
in the
check
morning.
your phone.
Yeah.
Every time you open a door. So before you talk to someone, before you send an email, before you pick up your phone, like that moment, just taking that 16 seconds, the science behind it is when you slow down your breath, it sends the signal to your brain that everything's okay, even if it's not. So you are changing your cells, the biology, and it actually can change the physical structure of your brain because this is going to blow your mind. You ready?
Yeah.
They used to think that when you are 25 years old, your brain peaks. And actually, I heard you on one of the podcasts talk about your brain versus their brain.
Yes.
Because you're the youngest.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, but you're even beyond 25. So when you hit 25, your brain peaks. After that age, it slowly starts to decline, okay? Memory, executive decision-making, focus, and your stress and anxiety get even bigger. So by the time that you hit your 50s, your brain's like here. But what they found, this Harvard neuroscientist called Sarah Lazar did a study where she took 50-year-olds who had never meditated before, and she did before and afters of their brains, comparing them to 25-year-olds who never meditated either. And what she found was after they did 27 minutes every day for 8 weeks, their brains were as sharp as 25-year-olds. They physically changed the structure of their brain where they actually grew memory, focus, executive decision-making and shrunk their amygdala, which is stress and anxiety. So why is everybody not doing this? Because they think they can't They don't understand that this is not hard.
They're overthinking it.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I'm guilty
Let me
of
ask you,
doing
how
all the
long?
time.
How long has meditation been around? Because I feel like, we always look for the quick fix of things today, right? There's got to be a pill. There's got to be something we can do. What's the quick fix? How do I lose weight in 12 minutes?
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
Instead of a mindset, instead of a life change, right? Because that's harder. Although they say you do anything for 30 days, and all of a sudden that habit becomes a routine.
Or it takes 30 days to break a habit.
Right,
too.
to break a habit or to gain one.
yeah.
Right. I mean, for
Actually,
thousands of years, people have been meditating, right?
I disagree
Well,
with that.
I didn't say it. I
No,
said
I know.
that's what they say.
And I see it all over the place, and I've been told it my whole life. You break up with somebody, give it 30 days, you'll be...
Well,
I actually
They
disagree.
just tell you that so you don't...
I actually disagree.
So you have a
I don't-
focal point of
I think it depends
to
on the
reach.
person. You could choose in that moment.
Yeah.
And in that moment, or you can wait a month and go through heck and then choose it.
Right.
But it's really just a choice at one point.
Right.
Right?
But,
Yeah.
but meditation has been around for thousands of years,
Yes.
right? Like, I mean, the monks and all,
Yes.
Right.
people have been doing this for years.
I just
right?
saw this on social media. A monk decided he was going to lay down and give his life through meditation. And he laid down and he shut his heart and his brain down and passed away.
What? Okay, that doesn't happen often.
Wow.
So here's the deal.
He wanted to
I
prove,
used to be,
he was a self-sacrifice to prove that it was possible. And he did it.
Wow. I used to be a fashion editor. And I was like covering the world in fashion all over the place.
a different
I had a
pace.
crazy, I worked at Vogue, Red Fire Glamour, I was on TV, I did the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay? I didn't even know I was stressed because I was so busy. And my mother-in-law was like, you need to breathe. And I'm like, what's that? The thing that we just did.
Right.
And I'm like, wow.
Yes,
I wish I had known that earlier.
Yeah.
You know?
So cool.
And so once I learned that, I'm like, oh my God, this is what I want to do with my life.
Super
And I
cool.
dumped fashion and I ended up trying to find a place to meditate. Well, first I was still in fashion, then I was looking for places to meditate, and there was no place that existed that was just like quick fix. So UNPLUG in Los Angeles is the world's first drop-in meditation studio. And then the app came, and then all the things came. And this is something like I just learned myself 13 years ago.
Wow.
So I am the last person. I'm hyped up. I'm like everybody else. Like, I don't have time.
Yeah.
I'm busy, just like you guys are.
You got a family and all
I
that
have
stuff?
3 kids.
Oh, my
You know,
so do I.
I'm busy.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. My time goes slower when I slow myself down.
Amen.
Because I'm present for it. It's not like I end the day now and I'm like, what happened? I slow myself down and then I own my time. I own my brain. I own my choices and I'm more intentional.
That's really awesome.
I mean, yeah, it's all about, maintenance and the more work you put in now, the better it'll be in the future. And I'm just thinking the benefits and all the strengths and stress that could be avoided from implementing a meditation routine into your life as soon as possible.
Well, for me, I feel like this.
Even if it is 16
I'm looking at it this way.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it this way, and correct me if I'm
I
wrong.
love
or
the
you don't-
idea of waking up.
Me too.
I love the
That's
idea of when
huge.
you go into a
Out of
meeting.
bed. I
I
love
love the
this.
idea of when you go to
It's
sleep.
huge.
I
It's
know.
huge.
When you get in bed.
And you know what's funny? In another way, I saw this billionaire businessman, I forget his name, I'm really bad with names, talk about how but he would do this, but in his own, he figured it out in his own way. He didn't quote this or didn't even realize he was onto this.
Right.
But they were asking, what's the secret? How do you go in and talk to world leaders? He was a big guy, go in these big meetings, these huge companies. How do you do it? And he's like, honestly, before I write an email, I pick up a phone, or I walk in to go meet with these big people, I take 2 seconds, I breathe, and I think of these people naked. And I go, yeah, they're just human beings like me. And I walk in, and I own the room.
Right.
And he's like, and that's my secret.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What if he's like, I touched the door handle
in-
13 times?
in a-
I take
in a-
2 steps to the left.
No,
I think
happens
that's
to some
something
people.
else.
You know what I mean? In a sense, though, it's that moment.
Put all the
he was
cans
taking.
face forward.
He was breathing.
Yep.
He was visualizing, oh, these are just normal people like me. And boom.
Yeah.
It changed his whole state of mind.
Well, we have a professional boxer on the app, and our app is different than other apps because it's video-based. You can actually see the voice going in your head. But his name is Mike Lee, and he used to box at Madison Square Garden, and he used to have to speak to tens and thousands of people. So he did a meditation for public speaking on there, where it's a guided visualization, like the athletes do, where you actually visualize what you want people to walk away with at the end. So if you think about, like, what's the walk away gonna be? You are gonna give a much better speech than if you just go in there and make it about you. You have to go in there and make it about them and give them what they need.
Totally. And that's another thing that I keep hearing. It's like, if you truly want these things, you have to get yourself, and I've heard through meditation and all these different things, you have to get yourself and you almost have to reverse engineer your life. You have to get yourself to the end. That end result that you want, you have to be there psychologically, physically, feeling it before it ever happens. And then all that just catches right up to that feeling, because truly it's what's going on inside your own head that dictates everything that happens around you.
I have a really fun thing that we can do together today.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So yesterday, we do this thing where we do like live community classes where we had this teacher named Peter Opperman come on, and he talked about future self meditation. And he guides you where you actually see your future self.
Okay. Wow.
And it's the coolest thing ever.
This is great.
Okay? So I would thought that we could do something, but let's like make it really tight.
Okay.
And because I'm sure your audience would love to hear it. So we'll start with you. Okay. What would you wish that you could tell your 22-year-old self? As you being your future self today, what would you tell your 22-year-old self?
22-year-old self.
I know what I would say, but I don't know if I would understand it. That's my problem. Like, I would just say, get going. Like, just start now. Because when you're, 32, you're in 42, you just start. Yeah. Nike says it best, just do it.
I would say be much more specific with what you want in life. Specify what it is that truly makes you happy and laser focus on that, And I would say, in a weird way, be slightly more guarded, with sort of your heart and with how freely you pass that around. I would say those two things: specificity and slightly more guarded.
I don't want to jump in, but I know what Matt would say to his 20-year-old self.
What is it, Andy?
Crypto.
Oh, God, Jesus. He's a big crypto guy. We don't have to get on. I'm sure if you've binged, you've heard Matt's tangents. I know.
Move on.
Stay on the
I
topic.
wouldn't mind doing that. No, but on a broader topic,
God.
is my turn?
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay. Me, I would go back and say,
you. No, I'm kidding. Good.
Stop sweating all the small stuff. Be patient. It's coming. It'll have the right timing when it's supposed to happen. I always tried to force things, and it just got me off on the wrong track.
So, Andy?
I already said it. Get started. I don't know if I'd understand that, but I understand it now.
Yeah.
Well, it's like and there's also the story of the man that carried the spoonful of oil to the top of the mountain without spilling a drop. And then when he gets up to the top, he looks around and he's all alone.
Yeah.
So just make sure you
enjoy the
stop
journey.
and smell the roses. Enjoy
Yes,
the journey.
so
It's the people,
true.
it's the people you're with.
Yeah.
So important.
That stuff
Absolutely.
too. That's
100%.
it.
Yeah.
So now imagine that you are your future self telling yourself that exact same advice right now. It's big stuff, man,
Big
right?
stuff. It is.
No,
It's
it is
huge
good.
stuff.
Yeah.
It is
Wow.
good stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because we forget to, that's another thing that you get from meditation is we stop and we actually can hear our own voice. Like, what? You don't do
true.
that.
No,
You're
it's-
so busy, doing the stuff, doing the thing.
You're right.
That you don't stop. And when you think of Albert Einstein, the big ideas didn't come when he was logging on to Instagram. They happened when he was floating on the boat in the middle of the water doing
Yes.
absolutely nothing.
Yes.
They all say that. All the
I
great
know.
inventors say it.
Yeah.
It's in those moments of nothingness that these huge explosions
Chris
of creation
Nolan.
come.
Chris Nolan says he has a flip phone
Yeah.
because he comes up with his best ideas while other people are scrolling Instagram.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. I feel like
Really true.
this is something that, we hear a lot about education in the news today, right? And that education really needs to just get back to, reading, writing, and arithmetic and
Meditation.
Get out of politics and, right? Everyone has their own opinions about that. I have mine. I do.
Shocker.
I do. But in this, obviously, and, because I really do feel like children are finding themselves. So school really should focus on school things, like things that they need to work on that they can use, exercise their brains.
And to branch out, actually teach the things that
Right, I was going to say. But
we really need to be taught.
Like,
I
how to
never...
balance a checkbook. I'm just kidding.
Right.
You don't use
No, but
checkbooks
wait,
anymore.
they
But,
used to-
you know,
we've
when
gotten
I,
away
you know,
from it.
Yeah.
School did do that. Our
Finances,
parents
how to fix
learned. They had
things.
they had
How to fix
economics.
yourself and take care of physical and mental health. What is going on? These are the most
true.
important things.
It's
How we don't
absolutely
teach them.
true.
I don't know.
Absolutely
They had
true.
shop class. How to change a
Yes.
tire in school.
How
They
was
don't
I
have
not-
these things anymore. But one of the things I think, how brilliant would it be for these spongy, beautiful minds of these elementary school kids if you taught them something like this?
Oh,
That's
my
what I'm
God.
saying.
Hey, listen,
How come
guys, wait a
nobody-
minute.
Before
Instead
you
of-
take that test,
instead
before
of-
you do that, just take your
Yes.
16
Even
seconds.
this.
Even this. I
You
know
guys
what
are
to say.
both going to reach and fight over the colored crayons. How about this? Wait a minute. No. Not go to the rooms, not go to the principal's office, not this. How about this? Guys, time out. Do your box.
16 seconds.
Do your box meditation, right? And those kids at the table together, breathe
Joe,
in
we might
4
want to do a
seconds.
little box meditation real quick.
You know what I'm saying?
Right now, though.
But you think about a skill set that, like you
my
said, would
gosh.
become a habit,
Right.
would become instinctual for them. So when they get into middle school
Right.
and they have their tests and their finals, and that they've been taught since kindergarten.
Yeah.
And this now is a skill that is second nature to them. That's something. It's
wild.
That like economics and shop and these things that we've taken out of education.
We have
appropriate or
robots
meaningless.
replacing humans in the
Right.
workforce, but we aren't teaching this method to our youth. This proven wonderful.
Well, here's the
what's
thing:
going
we
on?
are teaching it now. I mean, this
Right.
is something
Right.
that you're starting to see
Right.
in nursery school and
Well, that's why
kindergarten.
you're on here
and
today.
It's so
We're
beautiful.
spreading the word.
Like even Goldie Hawn has this amazing foundation called the Mind Up Foundation, where she has teachers around the U.S. teaching kids how to kind of,
Really?
It's
not
awesome.
activate their amygdalas.
Yeah.
Stress and anxiety.
That is so cool.
Bring it
Because
on.
that's what it's about. It's like we are going to have stress. It's not about, here's what's crazy. I think that we've gotten off topic on this because every generation has tried to make it easier for the next generation, right? Make more excuses, make it easier. And you do it with a good intention. The problem is it's harmful. And so many things that are good, that start off with good intentions, end up being harmful, okay?
Right.
Because life isn't easy, okay? Life is tough. This journey is bumpy. You are gonna have stresses. You're gonna have people that don't like you. They're gonna have people that don't wanna hear what you wanna say. That's okay. It's not about eradicating dissent. It's not about taking away tough times. That's the
Right.
human experience. What you need to do is give them the skills to manage it. That's the key. Because in our effort to make things easy and to make things more, to make things quicker and easier for kids, right? We're not setting them up for success. It's not what life actually is. And then they become adults and they're like, I can't operate in this forum. I'm a disaster. You know what I mean?
There's a really simple equation that literally explains most of humanity. And that is,
If you say E equals MC squared.
no.
That's
That
it.
is.
That's
No,
it,
you
Joe.
have to say you're
That
leaving.
is-
If you say E equals M squared, you're
And
leaving.
these aren't my words, obviously, but it's strong people
Yeah.
create good times. Good times create weak people. Weak people create bad times. Bad times create strong people. Strong people create good times. It's all
There you go.
cyclical.
Yeah, it's
it's
true.
all
It's great.
cyclical. It all goes
Well,
around.
that's another thing about meditation is it can really help with your resilience. So
that I love.
here's the deal is if you do this, like I said, I won't get out of bed until I meditate, every single morning, you're going to start to notice that little things don't bother you as much. So those
That's what I
you
need.
know, all of a
I'm
sudden.
not a morning person, so this could
well,
really
you get
help.
up.
I do.
Okay.
Oh, we all get up
And I'm
very early.
furious.
When you get
know.
up, I don't sit like this when I meditate. I'm not sitting in lotus. I literally wake up. I click the meditation of the day on the UNPLUG app. I lay back down in my bed. I close my eyes. I do the 10 minutes. I do the thing. And then I start my day.
Wow.
Sounds great.
And I don't look at my emails because then someone else owns my time. I don't look at my
Yes.
phone and scroll and all that crap. I just go in. I look at a positive quote because that's what opens when you open it. And I'm just already in a better mood.
This is great.
This sounds amazing.
yeah, this is really great.
But you have to do the thing. You were saying, you don't believe in habits creating and habits forming. And I kind of agree with you because I think, it's so easy for us to work out every single day. And then we stop for 2 days and then we're out.
We're out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this happens all the time.
All the time.
So we have to forgive ourselves and just keep doing the thing. We're going to fall, we're going to rise. We're going to fall, we're going to rise. So I believe that you should start tiny. There is a incredible guy. His name is BJ Fogg. Have you guys heard about it, Tiny Habits?
DJ Fogg, no.
Yeah,
it down.
he actually ran this class in Stanford that the guys from Instagram and everybody took his class and became billionaires. And he wrote this book called Tiny Habits. And what he says is, make it tiny. So if you say to yourself, you know what? I'm going to do 16 seconds. That's it. I'm going to start with 16 seconds.
Love it.
Anything I do above that, I'll consider extra credit.
Yep.
And then you're going to start craving more and more. For me, I have to do 10 minutes. And sometimes I want more.
Yep.
Sometimes I'm I really don't feel like doing it, but I know I'm not going to be my best self if I don't, so I still do it. So that's the thing.
I've been very interested in this because gone through some things in my life where I've come across things like addiction. Okay? I had a smoking habit that
Yeah.
and there are some really interesting things about these addictive habits that I think are really interesting. They're almost like there are adaptations to survival. And now in a modern world, we're putting the survival mechanisms onto substances, but these same survival mechanisms get activated.
Yes. So
And you can get addicted to good things.
So not to interrupt. When I stopped smoking, I got hypnotized, and it actually worked for me. And it was it's a whole thing. And anyway.
I did too. So like you're preaching to the choir.
Okay, I really do. I saw
Yeah.
Kerry Gaynor, and he
Yeah.
was great. And anyway, but one of the things he told me was that, and because I think what really worked was just the information that he was giving me, however he was giving it to me. So one of the things he said, smoking is so addictive because it actually mimics the same breathing habits as meditation.
For sure.
You breathe in, you hold your breath, you exhale.
Yes.
So not only are you getting addicted to the nicotine,
How can you never share this with us?
but you're getting addicted to the process as well. And then that is what you're craving.
And it's funny because it's still to this day I tell people, well, because I'll go out with the smokers because it's the outside. I just like the break of it. That was really what it was for me. It was the escapism
But it's
to
not.
get outside.
That all got grouped in.
So I
to
mean,
this
you're right.
Messy, massive ball of mess.
Yeah.
But if you unravel it, at the root of it is just meditation breathing.
It's funny because a lot of people think when they think of hypnosis that you're going to stand up on a stage and bark
No,
like a dog.
right.
But that is not
Not
what
at
it is
all.
at all. In fact, we created, also on the UNPLUG app, sorry to keep bringing that up.
No, bring it up.
It's called Hypno Habits.
It works.
So basically, I hired a hypnotist
It works.
to hypnotize me. Her name is Camilla Sacredala, to want to exercise because I just wasn't into it. I wasn't finding the time, and I really wanted to be like an exercise person. So she interviewed me, found out what my trigger words were. She did this like little hypnosis 19-minute session, and the next day I woke up, I worked out. Next day, worked out. Next day, worked out. So I'm like, we should like make hypno habits and put it on the UNPLUG app. So we did
Brilliant.
hypno habit for exercise,
It's
for
brilliant.
meditation, for healthy eating.
It really works.
It really
It
works
really
for
works.
productivity. We didn't do smoking, but I think smoking
It's
is so
specific.
important. I actually got by a guy named Dr. Prasad in New York,
I know
hypnotized.
Prasad.
I know
Really?
Prasad, yeah.
And he injected me with sodium pentothal. And the next thing I know, I open my eyes, I don't smoke anymore, and I don't eat cheese. That
No
was
cheese?
Like, yeah.
I need to get rid of cheese.
I think the problem was like, I must have said like, I didn't want to get fat or whatever. And so he took out cheese.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I now eat cheese, but I
of
haven't
course.
smoked since.
I mean, I haven't smoked since.
Yeah.
It's been 15 years, and I was
Yeah.
a heavy smoker, and I quit cold turkey.
Yeah.
And he told me,
Yep.
don't go stand in a room of smokers. He's like, you have the power. If you're scared to go stand in a room of smokers,
Yeah.
when you quit smoking, you're going to fail. He's like, you can go stand and literally sit in an ashtray, and you're not going to want to smoke. And I don't
Yeah.
to this day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, to your
guys.
point, I wasn't like, my eyes weren't spinning, and I didn't see stars, and I never was unconscious. I remember every minute, every detail.
Right.
You weren't like the snake from Jungle Book?
Yeah. I woke up on the side of the road naked 2 miles away.
Right,
No,
right,
it's like
right.
never, nothing. I
Wow.
never was, it's
You
not
told me
like
to go
that.
stand right next to a bunch of smokers and sing the song "Stand" by REM. Stand in the place where you live. Really?
seriously though,
I embarrassed myself. Do it.
I believe
He's trying to pull a fast one.
I believe that this is also the beginning of what our medicine will be in the future. I believe that we will all be able to use meditation practices to access our brain to heal ourselves. I think it's the greatest doctor ever. And I think really our medicine is...
Who's to say we didn't do that in the past?
If the FDA doesn't keep its stronghold over our country, then it will happen.
And food.
And food.
Yes.
They control it.
And that's
Oh my
the thing. It
gosh.
used to be that doctors learn nothing about nutrition, which is so weird because
so
that's the
weird.
thing that fuels us.
Exactly.
And it's like
fuels our
You
mind, it fuels
are what
everything.
you eat.
Food is medicine.
Yes.
And
Yep.
so I think that we all will start eating healthier, and I think
Please.
we're going to start meditate. Like I
Yeah.
do believe I'm an optimist when it comes to the future. I'm not thinking about like us all going down.
Great.
I'm thinking of us all going up because we know so much in a
agree.
good way.
There's
like
a
we
lot-
know
and
how to be the best version.
And I
of
wonder if that
ourselves.
has to do with your healthy mind and how you've worked to train yourself.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
the optimism is now infectious.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? That's what we all need.
I'm not eating lab chicken. Let me just put
No,
it
I'm
that
not
way.
either.
No,
I don't care whether the FDA says you can eat it. I'm not eating chicken that was born in a
me tell you
in
something.
some weird
Again.
box in a lab. It's
No, wait.
strange.
No.
Well, it wasn't born in a box lab. It's
It wasn't
literally
born.
it wasn't born at all.
It's
It
like
was gel.
grown in a lab. And now let me
figuratively
It's like just a
speaking.
breast
Now wait.
and like maybe a cluck.
Now wait. Now let me give you
You hear
this.
this? They have lab chicken.
I Didn't even know that.
Yeah.
It's already, they got it on the shelves without even asking us.
Wow.
And they did the same thing with GMOs in 93, and then they finally said, oh, we should probably tell the public in 2003,
Right.
decade later. They didn't even tell us.
Wow.
So the point,
It's wild stuff.
oh
man.
my gosh, it's crazy. They really do not, they really do not care about us in that way. They don't.
No.
Not as much as they do in Europe. Because
No.
there's so many things that are banned.
you can eat everything.
And here, we can eat it. They can do whatever.
And people say all the time, you go to Italy, you have the food there. You don't experience the
gluten intolerance.
You don't
Yeah.
experience a lot of
Right.
these things. You can have
because
their
they're ancient
dairy,
grain. And
you
also
can have their
a lot of-
grains, you
a
can
lot
have
of-
their pastas.
A lot of the
you don't have the
ingredients-
bloat. You don't have
also,
the IBS.
that's
You don't
because
have those things.
A lot of the
Right.
ingredients that we use here are illegal and not used
Yes.
other places.
Yes.
Yes.
I know, it's pretty wild, guys,
Yeah.
what's going on. I mean, it's not like conspiracy theory. Like, just step back and take a look at it. You're like, they put Fruit Loops above red meat on the ingredient list, and that's no joke, people. That's the government. We're saying that the Fruit Loops are better for you.
healthier.
Not
Yeah,
ingredient
but
list,
here's
yeah.
the thing: is
Yes.
we have a choice,
Yes.
That's the good news.
and we need to exercise our choices.
Yes.
Because if we are just living and just doing and never pausing and being more intentional, then we're gonna become like a lot of people. Like you were saying, just start. Who never start because they're so busy doing.
I know. Yeah,
Okay.
you're right.
So I hope that this in some way is helpful and will help you want to pause a little bit.
Yeah.
And just create a teeny bit of space so you can decide, what do I want?
I love that.
It's crucial
I
for
love
me,
that.
and I know Andy
I love
and I know
that.
Joe too will attest to this, is that I'm very passionate about things. However, my passion can run out of control, and sometimes it hinders my communication ability because I'll go into a collaborative environment
Rants.
and I'll
Collaborative rants.
I'll spin out of control, which completely tanks which is never what I wanted to do. I'm only trying to elevate it, and I have the opposite effect. So for me, it's very important in business, not just as well as my personal, but in business in particular, because that is one thing that I've noticed that I need to do better at. To be able to be in a leadership position and be able to work with people, I can't spin out of control emotionally. It's just not. Literally, nobody will. They literally won't even want to listen to you, and they'll recoil, and that's the exact opposite of what you want to have. You're actually, it's funny. I'm trying to draw people in with the passion, and
you're
all they
pushing
do
them
is push away.
Wow.
So I've noticed that, and I've got to do better. So something like this is really, I think, very poignant for me, because if I can take those 16 seconds instead of spinning out and redirect it and come back to maturity, man, that's a game changer.
I have a little fun secret for you
Okay.
that can help you.
Okay.
Is sometimes, have you ever had a phone call and you recorded it legally, but you
For legal purposes.
But you were,
I've
but
done
you
the
were
other
like,
one.
you listened to the interview. You kind of did an interview with someone because you
Right.
wanted to learn something, and then you re-listened to it,
Oh,
and you
yeah,
were
yeah.
talking the entire time.
Yes.
Okay, and you're like cringing listening to
Yes.
it.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So imagine before you actually go into a meeting that it's being recorded by someone else and that you're actually going to listen to it afterwards.
No, that's a great state of mind.
Okay.
I like that.
And just get that frame of mind in there, because the truth is you can't learn anything if you're talking all the
It's
time.
true. So true.
So are you going in to learn something, or are you going in to just like be heard? And people hear you.
100%.
They see you. They love you.
So true.
But
Very good advice for the
Yeah.
chatterboxes at the table.
It's very true. Very true.
I'm a
Let's do it.
chatterbox too. I mean,
I mean, I am too.
it's call a spade a spade. I'm like giving you advice I use for myself.
But it's
So-
great.
That's
I need
great
it. Thank
advice,
you.
though.
It is
great
Yeah.
advice.
Great advice. I know you're not learning anything when you're talking. That's
No.
true. Yeah.
No, and okay, so that goes into this other thing I heard, which is if you're probably never going to be the smartest person when you're in a room, and you should never win that with your mind, that state of mind anyway.
yeah.
But you can become the smartest person in the room by listening to everyone else speak first.
That's true.
True.
That's true.
That's true.
Wow.
Now we don't want to even talk anymore on this.
All right? I know, now we just go quiet.
Listen, we're gonna.
Who's gonna stare?
You
speak first,
20
no?
minutes staring.
I was gonna say the last 20 minutes of this episode is just gonna be beautiful music and meditation.
Hey, I love it.
Me too.
God.
So it's just for the people, because we're kind of feel like we're kind of breaking the myths and the stereotypes of meditation, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That it's attainable.
It's
It is
Oh yeah.
attainable.
Anybody,
Yeah.
if you can breathe, you can meditate.
Yeah.
We like to say that, and it's so true. And you were talking about, I pray. And prayer is not meditation.
You're right.
Prayer is different because you're praying to God maybe, or to something, but you're not listening to your own inner voice.
Right.
So when you meditate, you're going in. when you're praying,
it's an
kind
outward.
of going out.
It is outward. It is 100% outward. And you're thinking about the things that you're praying about. That's the whole thing. When you put us through that little box meditation.
Shutting it down.
It was, I didn't think about
Recenter.
anything.
Yeah.
It was almost a reset. You know,
Yes.
like when you turn your phone completely off, I got to reboot this thing. These damn text messages are not loading. I'm shutting the whole thing down,
Yes.
right? You do that?
Yes.
Because the iPhone works so well never. And so, but I feel
That's
like.
not true.
It's like an 80%.
Yeah.
Whatever. They're
Pretty darn good.
Maybe
in my opinion.
90%.
I know. Apple's
love
all right.
Apple.
I know you love Apple.
I do too.
Yeah, it's
I do
great.
too.
No, I love Apple. I mean, I use Apple.
Wait, what else are you going to use?
Nothing.
An Android?
So I don't know.
don't know,
Ooh, there's
maybe.
the Android iPhone debate. The people are going nuts.
I know. Why is your
I
message
love
green?
it.
Why is your message blue?
Oh, it's so stupid.
Yeah, I know.
So
Yeah.
stupid.
My girlfriend has an Android.
Why
That's
don't you have
right.
a
We go
color?
back and
Yeah,
forth
yeah.
between the
Right.
Apple
You
and
can't
the Android.
FaceTime.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
No, we
That's
have,
like
a,
a horrible
we have a bunch
thing.
of different problems.
But
yeah.
more people in the world actually have Android.
They do.
Yeah, they do.
Which is interesting.
Yeah,
so
I
you,
know.
like for us,
Oh,
we
yeah.
have to be on both. We're on both platforms
Yeah.
because
Right.
more
Yeah.
people in the world.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Have Android.
But for
then I-
content creators, you can't beat Apple.
Yeah.
You just can't.
yeah,
I
you
agree.
can't.
At this
yeah.
point.
Yeah, no, not at this point. But
Here's
it's,
the thing too: is like stress. If people could see how bad it was for them, like it is
radiation
so,
almost, kind of, right?
It can kill you,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not exaggerating.
No,
Stress literally can kill you.
I'm a young, healthy guy, and I was literally put into the hospital from stress.
Wow.
I've developed major stomach issues and
Wow.
stomach ulcers, and I'm young. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
So if stress can kill you, and we actually know that,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and meditation has been scientifically proven to
reduce
reduce stress, then like, why isn't everybody doing this thing?
It's a no-brainer.
If this came in pill form,
Everyone would
we'd
be on it.
addicted to
Yep,
it.
everyone would be on it.
Everybody would be on it.
Yeah.
if they
And
called
actually-
it Ozempic.
But here's the thing:
Well,
it
my friend's
actually
diabetic,
works
it's very good.
quicker than pills.
Yeah.
In certain instances, look, I'm pro medication if you
Yeah,
need it.
for
Like
sure. Of course,
like
of
I'm not a
course.
doctor. However, I've seen people having panic attacks meditate and they're
don't
over
take
it,
Xanax.
as
Don't
opposed
take-
to
yeah.
going to the
Don't-
30-minute drug that.
Try to do it natural. I mean, if you can beat it naturally, why wouldn't you want
You know,
those
and you know,
powers?
and you know what's amazing? That you just nailed it right there. The power that you get from taking control of your life
course.
back is just.
Why would you want to be dependent on something else when
Yeah.
you don't have to?
If you
be?
don't have to be, if
know.
you have to be, you have to
Sure.
be. But if you don't, look, here's my feeling.
Take that
If there's
power
a
back.
natural remedy, just try it first.
Yeah.
Like try that first.
I know.
Uh-huh.
That
Try the foods.
Right.
Yeah.
Try the foods,
know,
try the meditation, try the
Right.
natural
Yeah.
remedies
Yeah.
first.
True.
If you still need help, you can have the pills.
Do your research and go and,
right, and do
go
what you need to
go to
do
a
and
medical
talk about with your
professional
doctor,
and
do what you
then,
need to
yeah.
do. But at the end of the day, at least try the natural way first. Because if you can get through with that one, man, is it,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, how could
there's
you-
no
there's no
debate.
argument.
There's
Yeah.
no debate that it's better for you.
Right.
There's no debate.
No.
Like for instance, I just mentioned Ozempic because I know it's a diabetic pill and it's done.
My
great
buddy
things.
Izzy's on it, and
No.
he's very diabetic, but it's great. He's doing
And
wonderful.
I'm
But
not
I
saying
gotta
that.
say-
the problem is now people are using it for weight loss only.
Oh,
They're not
that's-
diabetic,
yeah.
and
But I will
and
say
that's-
this: its purpose is to curb appetite, even with diabetes, to help regulate sugar and glucose. So it's all like
Which is so funny because this can all be solved by these people just changing their diets, and it's so crazy to me that like
a lot
it's,
of people
it's the
have gone-
disease of
well,
processed foods and sugars.
Well, hold on, but they're gone too far, right? So they can't
Hey guys, can we go into a little box meditation?
Sorry.
One.
Ready? 1,
Yep.
2. Breathe in for 4, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath for 4, 2, 3, 4. Drop your shoulders. Audible exhale out for 4, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Open your eyes.
It's unbelievable, guys. It's really,
does
it's
work.
truly,
No, it's weird.
it's truly
It's
unbelievable.
awesome.
And I
I mean,
almost
weird in
feel
a great way, you know what I mean? Like, it's great.
I almost open my eyes and feel like truly like I'm buzzing on a different energy field. Like
Yeah,
I'm
for me.
actually I'm more confident and more calm. This is incredible.
That's great.
Yeah, really incredible.
Well,
Like it actually changes.
and it's easy.
It is. It's,
I
it's
can't believe
super
it.
easy,
It's
guys.
shockingly easy. I just did it twice.
And you can do it with your eyes open.
Yeah.
So like when you feel yourself, I don't know. We all
start
have a
to get really
tell.
good at
like
it.
I get hot when I get
Me too.
annoyed.
I get hot
It's like
flashes.
I'm
Isn't that
getting
weird?
hot and I
Yeah.
get mad. And so then I'll do it like this.
Interesting.
And you won't even know.
No, it's true.
And so
But
I
like,
can,
it-
like
it's
if
like-
your
like
kids
she's like
are
your
freaking
significant-
I get stomach issues. Like my stomach starts to gurgle and like I just
Yeah,
feel
if
like-
you're with your significant other, they're like, "Are you doing it again?
Yeah.
Are you doing that?"
Yeah.
Did I say something wrong?
I have a good tip.
Talk to me, say something.
I know you have a little kid. And one of the things
17,
you can do.
13, 5 months.
Right. So when your child is being like having a temper tantrum, if you go into tree pose. Do you know what tree pose is? When
The
you put
yoga
your
move?
foot- yeah, the yoga pose. If you go into
This one, right?
with your foot
up
up
on
on
the-
your
yeah.
inner thigh.
Yeah.
If you go, just put your foot on your inner thigh. If you go into tree pose and they're freaking out and screaming, all of a sudden they're going to stop and be like, "Why are you doing that?" And it's like all of a sudden, it's like you change the game there. It's just a pattern interrupt. Like, so there's different ways to do it. Like,
Redirection of
It's
you know, if
almost
your
like-
girlfriend's freaking out at you and you tree pose, she'll be like, what are you doing? And then all of a sudden she'll go,
Interesting.
You do really need to break
don't they say-
the energy that's there if it's a bad energy and then reshift it. And it could be a microcosm. It could take a second.
right?
Even just a physical position,
Yeah.
a posture, whatever.
It's true.
It's wild that can really break and
You're going to Happy Baby.
Yes.
Oh, God, Andy, what are you doing?
He's sleeping. I'm talking to you. He's backfiring on me.
No, what are you doing? Get up. We're in the
But they'll
street.
start laughing
Of course,
too.
of
They'll
course.
be laughing
Right.
because they'll think it's so weird.
Right.
Yeah.
So these are little
That's a
things
great
that we
idea.
can do
That's a great
to
idea.
kind of like just people be
Guys,
like,
I have a
"What's up?"
feeling that we're going to be using a lot of these when we argue.
I already know it.
I know.
Andy's
I have
going
a
to
problem.
constantly be tree posing.
Yeah, because I blow up. I don't.
You get hot.
I get real hot, and it takes me. I have a long fuse, but then when the fuse goes off, it's more like.
But do you know why you do that?
No.
Okay. You want to know why?
Sure.
Because you're basically being reactive instead of responsive. Okay? So when something happens, and this is David G always talks about that, and we talk about him, he's one of our teachers. He just does our teacher training. I love this guy. But what he says is, we usually, something happens, it triggers us, and we scorch the village. We take it out on everybody around us, okay? But if you pause in that moment of stress and just do that 16 seconds thing, then you're like, okay, calm yourself. Do I really care? Actually, I don't really care that much. Okay, how do I respond to that?
Wow.
And it's like you're different human beings. So you feel that heat next time, you do that thing. So
We all do that.
yeah.
It's just
I
so
was just
true.
saying,
It's
like-
sinking into me. I'm being saying,
like these
I'm
are-
being reactive.
for
I'm not
everybody listening out
responding.
there,
This is crazy.
Yeah.
For everybody
100%.
listening out
And it's
there,
called turns into Scorch Earth. It's
Wow.
wild, actually. It's
And everybody
that is the
watching-
most poignant
Yeah.
description of how weak
Wow.
sometimes, and his brothers especially, it's very reactive.
try
Right.
in relationships
To be responsive.
to be responsive and not reactive.
and responsibly responsive
Yes.
as well. Take your 16 seconds, take your breaths,
Wow.
breathe. Once it's said, it can't be unsaid.
Yes.
Boy, these are really good
Valuable
tools for your
tools.
life.
I feel like
Valuable tools.
the Brotherly Love Pod wants to send you to Washington, and I want you to just work with all the politicians.
Just whip the whole country into shape.
I mean, I want you to just talk to them and say, stop being Muppets, and please just be a little more responsive instead of reactive. Because honestly, like
so true, Jim.
that's all
Let's
I feel
work
like
together. Let's
honestly, like not to
breathe.
be political, but that's all I feel like our political leaders are doing.
Right.
They're just being reactive,
so
like
true.
petulant kids, instead of being responsive.
Here's
and
the
getting
thing,
things
it's
done.
a skill.
It is a skill. No, it's a skill.
It's just a little skill. And that's the thing. We all have these tools. We just don't know them all. So like this tool, you've had your whole life, you just didn't know how simple it was. And there's so many different things like that. Like there's this guy who I love, I'm obsessed with, Jim Quick. Have you guys heard of him?
Jim Quick.
You need to have him on
I
this
bought a
podcast.
car from a guy named Jim Crook once.
He is.
That's not good.
He
He overpaid,
calls
apparently.
I totally
himself-
overpaid.
He
The guy
calls
ripped me
himself
off.
the brain coach. He calls himself the brain
coach, okay.
And I used to think I had a bad memory. I used to think like I can't remember names. I can't remember this. I can't remember that.
Is this the
And-
memory thing?
Yeah.
I know of his work.
Yes.
Yes.
And he teaches you how to remember things, how to do and it's just the tools are there. We just didn't know how to use them.
It's crazy.
Well, I feel like, I mean, isn't it that old saying that like there are so many things that our brains are capable of. We don't know the vastness of the capabilities that we have.
Right.
We don't. I think like when we were forced to, generations ago, millennia ago, we probably used we used other things in our brains that we
didn't even know we had.
Right.
And we didn't understand what we were doing.
Now we've lost the ability as
right.
technology has come in and
The easy,
supplemented.
the quick,
right.
the instant
Supplemented a lot of
gratification.
our
Yeah.
ingenuity to figure things out, right? You having to use parts of the brain because we were just looking at stars and felt a breeze and tried to figure things out, right? But today, everything is an app to tell you. I mean, literally now you can get weather predicted for, remember, it used to be the 5-day forecast when I was growing up. It's like a 45-day forecast. How do they know 12 days and they don't?
Right.
They don't, but you think they do. So you stop deducing anything on your own because there's this app for this and this thing for this.
Yeah.
But the way that technology can help us is the way that your app does, which is it's an app to teach you how to help you.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Not an app
Not becoming
to make it
dependent
easier for
on
you.
the app, but
It's
becoming
exactly
giving
not
you the tools.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not adding for you.
Yeah.
It teaches you how to add.
Yeah.
Like it's a whole different
It's a
thing.
whole different thing.
Kids today aren't learning how to add in school. Oh, they just let us use the computer. I talk to my kids all the time. Like,
Well,
you
you
don't
know
have to
why?
write it down.
You know-
There's no homework there's no tangible homework anymore. Everything is online. What a horrible thing. That opening a book, reading it, smelling the pages, writing your arithmetic down, adding those, you're using more than just one part of your brain. That's why it was so vital. I feel like we're getting further and further away from using the full potential of our brain. We're probably using less now than we did 500 years ago in a weird way.
And just wait until we literally become the internet with our brains being chipped.
Well,
That's
is
what's
that the
coming.
next thing? I'm not
Yeah,
so.
well, here, this
Not for
is
me.
what I'm talking about.
Count me out.
We're now going into the future. Okay, so here's another thing. When we become worried, this is a technique that I learned from Heather Hayward, who's also on the UNPLUG app called Letting Go of Worry. She has this soundbite on this meditation where she says, replace what if with what is. What is I'm here now. Wow. What is that I'm breathing. What is that we're having a tangible conversation. We're learning new cool things. We're meeting each other. We're new friends. You know, what if, who cares? We're not there. Yes, it's going to be a problem, but does it really have to be? I don't know. So we might all reject it 10 years from now. Who knows what's going to happen?
True. It could all be shut down.
Let's get into what is right now.
Right here, the present is the present.
So that's one fun letting go of worry technique. And another good one for like depression and sadness is if you're ever feeling really like dark and down, going from where you are to what you're grateful for isn't going to make you happy, but it will bring you into neutral. So you can go from like despair to neutrality by just thinking about what you feel grateful for.
That is so.
So
what is instead of what if?
That's huge.
Yeah.
I'm not
And
my
what
brain.
you
That's a Heather
don't
Hayward.
have, what
Yeah.
you don't have versus what you're grateful for.
Yeah.
That one I know, and I've experienced that in particular. It doesn't necessarily, it doesn't like all of a sudden is the great, but literally it can go from a really dark moment, and I've been aware of this enough to implement it. Only a couple of times where I've been there and I've gone, come on, look at everything that you have. I mean, even if it's just the animals and the family that you have right there, you're good.
And I want to
You're
say,
good.
I want to say that it's not going to be easy. So you might like
easy,
wake up and be a guided meditation, try all these different things. It's not easy. Like your mind is going to try to pull you away from now. Like that's what our brain is going to do. So it's going to be you that the more that you decide to do this thing, the more you choose to be present, even it's easier when you're guided, to be honest, then the more capacity you will have to be able to do it in those moments when you want to scorch the village.
Absolutely.
And it's like a training of the brain.
You're
Gotcha.
absolutely right. When if you want to be that guy or that woman that's in shape, or you want to be that person that runs the business or that CEO or the guy that makes the decisions quick or whatever you want to do, you want to land on the moon or build rockets, whatever it is, it's up to you to make that choice and to figure out how to facilitate the tools necessary to accomplish it. And this is key.
That is so
these are
cool.
This is the foundation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This really is. And you build on a great foundation. What are you going to have? A great structure. Period, right?
Every great mind that I've talked to, whether they've put it directly into the word meditation or not, I've heard this from all of them. They all take those moments. They all are able to do that. Whether they've come into it almost in their own way,
Right.
there's so
they've
many
navigated
similarities
to the
between the
methods.
top
The methods
people
are
that
very-
do things and these
It's
methods.
a common denominator for sure. Wow.
I've researched a lot of them, and a lot of them implement this stuff.
Great knowledge. What great tools.
I know.
I am beyond impressed and so excited to hopefully
implement
recalibrate and
these.
implement them
I
day to
know.
day.
Yes.
Really.
This is going to be really cool,
Everything
guys.
matters.
Well, the UNPLUG app, I'm
really excited about
I'm
this because
downloading that
you know what
today,
else is
for
really
real.
smart about this is that we're all on these all the time,
Right,
all
right.
day. So what a great way to take something that really isn't healthy for you and at least try to put some healthy stuff on it for you to look into.
Right.
Very, very smart. I really appreciate this, and this is definitely gonna.
And you
this
have
is
and there's a
something I'm doing.
studio too.
Yeah, there's a studio in Los Angeles.
Wow.
The 16-second meditation is on there too. So
Okay.
just in case you forget, which
4,
hopefully
4,
you
and
won't.
4.
Oh, I got
It's
it.
a
never
box
forget,
breath.
Bob.
In, hold,
That's it, yeah.
In, hold, breathe out,
And
hold.
hold.
yes.
Exactly.
And when you breathe out, that's another thing that people don't realize.
shoulders and
they
hips.
don't actually breathe out. They're holding.
Like-
so they're like not even breathing out.
Oh,
Which
really?
is kind of, like breathe, release it.
Yeah, you gotta let it go.
Inhale the good shit, exhale the bullshit. That's what we like to
That
say.
is so rad. Unplug, everybody.
Yeah.
Wow.
Get
There
on it.
seems like there's so much more.
Get
I
into
would
it.
love you to come back.
Yeah,
There's
we
just-
should
I've
come
got so
back
many
and we'll
questions
talk
I haven't
more.
even gotten to, but we're at the end.
We have
Can't
had-
thank enough. Guys, I don't know if you
We are
enjoyed
so
this, but
thankful to Suze Yalof Schwartz,
did.
everybody.
Yeah.
Please check out the Unplugged app
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely.
Get this book, A Simple Guide to Meditation, Unplug.
it's very
all right?
cool, guys.
We are going to be wearing these hats, which we're so thankful for. But honestly, like,
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you for
even
all
the
of
things that we talked about today, I mean,
16 seconds. That's all it takes.
I know.
Literally.
I'm telling you, it feels wild.
Try it.
No,
If you've
I'm
never
trying
done
it
with
with
us. If you're listening to this, you can try
Just,
it.
yeah,
Try
do
it
along
right
with
now.
us.
I mean,
In
it's
fact,
so
we
cool.
should end it. Maybe we should end it on a breath and say goodbye.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll
Here
end
we
that
go.
on a box.
On a box breath.
All right.
We're
Okay.
gonna follow your lead. Yeah.
Yes, we'll
Okay.
follow your lead, Susie, and then we'll call it, and then we'll see you guys next time on the Brotherly Love Pod. All right, go ahead, Susie.
Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4.
It's really amazing, guys. I really hope
Enjoy your
everyone
weekend,
out
everybody.
there
Thank you
checks
so much
this
for
out
listening.
and
Yes.
implements this into their life.
Yes.
It truly is. As we go into the future, it's just going to become more and more important.
It is, Susie. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much,
everybody, for
everybody.
listening
Great day.
today and watching today.
Thank you.
Love you guys.
Keep listening.
Love and the blessings. We'll see you next
Check
week.
out Unplugged. Thank
Yep.
you so much.
We'll see you next week on the Brotherly Love
Thank you.
Podcast.
Pod to pod, everybody.
Pod to pod, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Wow.
Hey guys, the Lawrence Brothers here to thank you for tuning in and watching this episode of the Brotherly Love Podcast.
And for exclusive weekly bonus content, join our Patreon now. The link is also in the description.
And we will see you guys next week.
Next week.
Next week.